Hello, this is your disabled combat veteran after 9/11 attack in New York City in the state of New Jersey, Michael Commiso and the Battle Buddies home. Well, apparently, I'm the slow, stupid Commiso. Even though I'm being monitored, I still got weird Wi-Fi names as Sir Bites a Lot and Lord whatever crap. And I was on guard at war a lot. So when you're in the military, they train you to see things. Commiso is trained to see things. So I got an asshole across the street, some white dude and some white woman, and I was a kid, and that same van was across the street since I was a kid. So they've been living around here for years. So, if they know that, they know my family as a veteran. They know I'm a veteran across the street. So people won't treat me as true Americans like they do as a veteran. So this house is constantly empty. Nobody lives across the street as the same. That van is never in that driveway. And I bet you $1 billion when it snows again, they have to shovel the driveway across the street to make it look like somebody lives there. But I've been watching this house for years now, and they leave one light on in the house, and nobody lives apparently. When people need the people that live across the street, they're never home because they don't live there. I bet you they're identity theft people across the street, and they're riding off of people's Wi-Fi or whatever. So, as people think, oh, I'm a robot like you as an internet, but I'm a normal person that looks out the window. And I saw the guy in the backyard across the street in the landlord's the apartment that I live in, the backyard, and he was holding something up in his hand. As I looked behind the window and see the house behind me, and it seems like somebody was in that house, as the old lady lived there behind this house. I cut her grass, and I was a paper boy and delivered, so I recognize people's faces. I don't know everybody's names, but I grew up around. That's the messed up part. People mock me and bully me in my hometown like I didn't do shit at war, but I was trained to be on guard at war, as I was a really good shooter with my M16. So the military trusts me to be on guard at war. You know, you can't just get jobs like that in the military. You have to be trained in the military for the military to put you on guard. So there's the reason why the unit trusts me to be on guard, as if somebody would have shot at me at my guard tower, I would have been ready, and I took my time when I was on Rangers. Even though I shot down the targets fast, my drill sergeant taught me how to breathe when you fire your M16. You have to be calm when you fire your weapon. And I taught myself to be calm when I shot my M16 to shoot down the target. I had a really good drill sergeant in the military. So I'm not hating on people, but when a white boy claims he dressed all in black, and at night I was driving home and I saw this person all black and everything, I beat the horn at the motherfucker. And he jumped and he had something in his hand. So now it feels like this guy has a different look to him all the time, beard or dress or whatever. He seems like he likes to get close to people for a reason across the street, as there's a reason why his lights are off all the time and nobody's home all the time across the street. So as their cops went through that apartment or house across the street, cops went through my apartment, as there's weird Wi-Fi's. You could call me many things back home as a veteran, but I'm a decent person with a heart. I would never hurt anybody, as I was American soldier after 9/11. So it seems to me he hides in people's basements. He gets close to people. It seems like he has a different look to him all the time. So as I saw him walk the dog across the street, and then sometimes when I look out the window, I felt like the guy just came out of this apartment, walking like he owns this apartment and everything. There's something wrong with the guy and the lady too across the street, as there are different weird ass Wi-Fi names on my computer around here. So apparently we stopped trick-or-treating in Mercer Township. When I was a kid, we got to trick-or-treat around here in Mercer Township as a kid. And all of a sudden, we can't trick-or-treat no more, and we have a curfew in Mercer Township. So I recognized the face across the street. I felt like I saw that face before somewhere. And I'm not trying to hate on anybody, but it's kind of weird that the person has a house. Somebody that can afford a house can afford putting lights on the main street of Mercer Township. So there was a reason why Mercer Township had a curfew. And kids can't trick or treat outside because of I think it's the guy across the street, because I bet you $1 billion when it starts to snow again, I'm going to see that lady and that guy again across the street. Because they have to shovel the driveway. They have to make it look like somebody's there. But when people need that person, they're not there because they're never in that house ever. So it seems to me, I don't think they ever lived there before somebody else lived in that house. They just never, and everything. So I got some asshole across, I don't know if he's doing that because I'm a veteran and people like to mock veterans after 9/11, but there's an asshole across the street. I got jumped by some corny gang around the corner. I got over that, you know. If that's the best way to welcome back your hero is get jumped by some, like, time me when I come out of the house to rob me as a corny gang outside, to move back home with my parents, and it seems the only reason why they're lingering around here to ride off of my router across the street. But I'm a stupid idiot. People bully me my whole life and make fun of me on the wrestling team. And because of my goofy glasses, the way I walk, the way I dress, people bully me my whole life to get bullied by some asshole across the street. And I'm a stupid idiot that don't see anything as a soldier after 9/11. So it's like he's trying to show me things on purpose just to mock me, like I don't see things. So my computer's being monitored. And I don't know how long that's going to last, because it seems that I got an asshole across the street. So I think they lie about their names. I think they left the house across the street. They never lived there in the first place. And now, they're out all night partying every single fucking day in Mercer Township? There's so much you could do in Mercer Township. So sometimes when I look out the window, I think they know that I'm going to look out the window because I got a webcam and people can hack my webcam and see me move through my apartment and know when I look out the window. That's what this guy does across the street. As there was an old lady that lived behind us, and I saw somebody in the house. And I know old people die, but old people don't die that fast. Even when 9/11 attacked, people don't die that fast, even when there's assholes on the streets in the world. So, 38 years old, I was the paper boy around here, and only a few people gave me a hard time with paying for the newspaper. But most of everybody on this street was proud that I was the paper boy, because I didn't throw the newspaper on the driveway. I put the newspaper by Dee and Louie's house. I shoveled their snow, and Dee died of cancer. And I made sure I felt good being a paper boy in my hometown. And I made sure the newspaper, when it's raining out, it had plastic on it, and I placed every newspaper by the door. So I delivered the newspaper. While I was getting better delivering newspaper, they gave me a bigger route. So first, it was just right here on this street, and my brother's friend was Kevin Larkin's house around the corner, and that circle. And then when I was getting better at being a paper boy, they gave me a bigger route. So I went down to the apartments and all the way to 2 streets over, them 2 streets, and the street behind. I delivered Arpit Gandhi's newspaper around here, and people like me to be a paper boy because I respect them enough, and I made sure their newspaper was next to their door. And when it was raining out, I made sure it was undercover, even though it had plastic over it, and they received their newspaper around here. As when I came back home from war, I was a security guard. I was a security guard for Helen Fold and Mercer Hospital. They moved Mercer Hospital. It's not Mercer anymore, as Harry Fold, but I did more security work at Helen Fold Trenton Hospital. My VA counselor told me that job is too stressful for you as a veteran, and I felt the same way. I was a really good security guard at the hospital too. I did what they told me, and I was doing triple hours at the hospital because people wasn't coming in for work. So I said, I'd do it. I worked all morning, all day, and they said, do you want to stay all night? And I said, okay, fine. Till triple hours. I was draining myself, so I had to quit that job as a security guard, as my brother got me to cut grass for the old lady behind here. So I'm a well-known person in the town, so when people come to me and acting like they don't know who I am, as I was your kid paper boy around here, people treated me like an idiot all my life for some reason. I don't know why. I guess because they found out that I was in special education classes. So how people are, even though they dropped out to join some corny ass gang outside, I'm the one that's making fun of that graduated from high school. And apparently special education is not good enough for people in school or whatever. But I did the same classes as the other students that graduated from high school. My best class was math. I had trouble with English. The bigger the word, the harder for me to pronounce that word. So it was hard for me to read, and the English was my tough subject in school. But I did really good in math. I went up to Algebra 2 in high school to that math where you measure shapes and stuff. I forgot what Jumanjami. I can't say it. Jumanjami. So I got an asshole across the street, even though they're Americans across the street, and know that they've been hanging around my family for years. For them to treat me and act the way they are, it bothers me, and seems I'm paying for some people's internet around here as people use the Wi-Fi off of my router. But I'm the asshole back home after 9/11. People make veterans feel like assholes back home while they use my router right off of my router around here. So I got an asshole across the street. I wave at people. I remember saying, "Hi, how's everybody doing around here?" So it bothers me that I'm on a main street. This street leads all the way to Delaware River. This street leads to all the way to Trenton, downtown Trenton. This road leads to downtown Trenton. I'm on the main road. So if a poor person's trying to save money, they still have to watch TV and have a light on. But this person apparently can't afford TV either. But somehow there's weird Wi-Fi getting internet around here. So as I feel when I was on the wrestling team, people tried to scare me and get me in trouble on the wrestling team, so I wouldn't wrestle no more because I was a really good wrestler. Because I had really good coaches that taught me how to wrestle. As I had the same coaches from Fisher School to Ewing High School. I felt some of the teachers from Fisher School came and followed me to Ewing High School because my wrestler coaches was also my teachers. So I didn't have nothing against my coaches or the teachers in school or the students. I'm a down-to-earth kind of person. It's easy to party with Commiso. It's easy to get along with Commiso. So sometimes I think people on my computer because they're assholes on my computer. So apparently I'm on time because people hack my computer and webcam and know when I move through the apartment because nobody has a life around here as they hack my computer. And I think there's something wrong with the person across the street. Not crazy. I think there's a hater across the street. As a Commiso, if you're a Commiso, it feels like there's always a hater on Commiso. I didn't do shit to nobody. I was just a decent wrestler, and I got good grades in high school, and I served my country to come back home from war to deal with an asshole across the street. See, I may have hang with kids when I was a kid around here, but as an adult, I really don't hang with nobody as an adult back home, as I feel people hack you and make people believe that you hang with that person. If the law doesn't know what a hack is. So when I came back home, I've been hanging with my dad after my grandpa died. And apparently, as my lottery ticket was stolen from me around the corner, assholes decided to move around me when my lottery ticket was stolen from me. You know, with the internet and how people use the internet, I don't think it's coincidence, or I'm not trying to assume the worst out of people, but can the people across the street lighten up a little bit? If they're alright people, then that's alright. If I'm wrong, But it seems the reason why they leave their lights off is because I don't think they ever lived there in the first place. I think they are identity thefting people, and when people find out, they I don't know. It seems like there's something wrong with the person across the street. I have a heater across the street. After 9/11 attack in New York City, I had to get mocked by people across the street. So, I like making YouTube videos. I prefer to keep making goofy videos, but since y'all coming down hard on me and beating the crap out of me back home while y'all claim you didn't do shit to me and hack my computer because I'm a stupid idiot in special education classes, I don't know what it means to be smart as a person. So, I got weird Wi-Fi around here, names, if you're going to name a Wi-Fi, people will come up with cool ass names to name your Wi-Fi, like Scooby. If I had to name my Wi-Fi, I'd probably name it like Scooby or something or whatever. But I got corny ass Wi-Fi right off my router getting mad at me because I found out. And it seems people know when I look out the window around here because I got a webcam. So sometimes I feel like I have to disconnect the webcam because I feel like people they judge me as a veteran back home, but they're just staring at me like crazy people having a Wi-Fi or whatever. And I feel like shit, man. As celebrities, it's probably cool to be a famous person, but you got people hacking you just staring at you on the webcam, and you don't even have to turn your webcam on for people to watch your webcam. Does the law know that too? If the law is going to monitor the internet, that's fine and dandy, but if they don't know what a hack is, and I've had a clean record my whole life. I'm better around kids than my monitor on the internet and the court around here. Because, if I imagine Commiso being a dad one day, I'll be a cool dad. If anybody harms my kids, I'll be the one that takes my baseball bat to your head and say, leave my goddamn kids alone. Then you have a reason to put me away, as there's a corny gang outside in a free country. So while I got jumped around the corner and nobody did shit, for me to get my door bust down and act like they're going to rob me. Oh, since we think there's something on the internet, we deserve to beat you up and stare you and rob you on the state of New Jersey and Mercer Township. So, as people had internet in the 90s around here, I felt like Commiso was being watched my whole life as I rode my bike on live television on the 4th of July parade street around here. Like I said, when I was a kid, all the kids in Mercer Township pretty much was chilling, collecting Pokemon cards, playing Nintendo. I grew up with Nintendo. So when they came out with PlayStation, I was like a happy, holy shit, look at, when I got my first PlayStation, I said, damn, dude, look at the graphics on this damn thing. Now, it's 4K PlayStation. I didn't get a chance to buy the 5th PlayStation yet. So, I didn't do nothing. All I did was come home alive and wave at people around here. But sometimes when I look out the window, you look like you want to fucking beat the crap out of me across the street. So when people look at me like they want to beat the crap out of me as Commiso, I feel like I have to run across the street and beat the crap out of you so you leave me alone and stop bullying me and mocking me and have a fucking life across the street. But then, I'm the one that gets in trouble with the law as a veteran. Seems to me people are cowards and know how to set veterans up to get in trouble with the law back home after 9/11. Because we was trained to protect ourselves in wartime as some corny ass gang on the internet, to come home for people to look at me like they want to kick my fucking ass. You know, I may be a little out of shape and overweight, and I'm 277 pounds, but I was trained in the military. And I'm not going to allow people to treat me like shit, even my hometown law, because you guys can't come up with a system of the simplest word as free sex online as the law. So I really don't know it's not everybody. I see people try to shake my hands and be friendly to me as a veteran. But there's some assholes, I don't understand what the hell their fucking problem is. I don't understand what the fucking problem of the dude across the street. Because apparently when you grow up, but everybody is like, oh, he's a kid. It's okay, he's a kid, to grow up as an adult, to treat me like I'm an asshole as a disabled combat veteran. So I feel like I'm constantly being watched on the internet. Before you, I think you've been monitoring my computer before I even came back home from war as your hometown hero. You know, I got hacked at war too by bad guys. So if you think the government's not watching Commiso, then there's something wrong with you. As I'm a soldier after 9/11 attack in New York City. So I got a hater across the street. I didn't do shit to nobody back home, as they try to scare me to join their gang outside? No, I'm good. I did better things than being a corny gang outside. I served my country. Serving your country is a big deal for me as a Commiso, because I did something with my life, and I don't bother people and sit around and hack people like the people across the street and pick on me and tells me, trying to teach me that I'm an asshole back home because they can't get their own goddamn internet around here. So that's just kind of weird that, oh, they don't even watch TV across the street. You know, yeah, it's cool. They try to save energy and everything and leave lights off. But you still got to turn lights on here and there through the apartment and the house and everything. They don't do that. Seems like nobody's home all the goddamn time, all the goddamn time. So I don't know if they only doing that to mock me as a veteran. Because oh wow, people are smart enough to research veterans to mock them back home, but they're not smart enough to have world peace, to get along with each other as people in the world. So I was in Black Ops. When I was on convoys, we had to turn off our lights off in our convoy so we won't get shot by snipers in the desert. So we're driving pitch black. I can't see shit in front of me. And we had to follow each other in convoy. And somehow my goofy ass came back home alive to get mocked by some asshole across the street. So I don't take my freedom for granted in America as a veteran. I appreciate my freedom. So I don't have to answer some corny ass gang across the street mocking me because they know when I turn my computer off or turn my computer on. So I just leave my computer on. Because apparently people watch movies but they don't learn anything from the movies or television show or whatever. So I got an asshole across the street. And I have to calm down because it seems, well, if they're not doing anything wrong, why are they hiding off of my computer around here? I admit, I watch free porn on the internet. I just watch whatever it's on that porno site because the law watched that porno site too around here. So after 9/11, porno and safe sex been on the internet for years online. For everybody having a nervous breakdown and acting like they don't know what people do online as my hometown law. So they're doing something crooked in Trenton. As, yeah, I do respect the law. There are people that work hard their whole life and got nothing to show for it. You know, that's that middle class. My dad is part of the middle class. He works his whole life to have nothing. And he made my dad believe he don't deserve shit as he's the hardest working person in town. My dad is the hardest working person in town. As my dad taught me to be a hard worker. When I was in the military, I was a really good American soldier and listened to my NCOs and my leaders. And I earned my medals in the military because of my dad telling me to be a hard worker. So I'm back home. You know, I had took photography online, dropped out because I felt like I wasn't really, I have to be in the class to learn. I can't learn everything on the internet. I may be a visual, I think I'm a visual, I see with my eyes, I'm a visual, I think that's why my eyes were really bad in high school. So when I was on the wrestling team and they told me I had to take my glasses off, I couldn't see I didn't see the other wrestler until the wrestler was this close to that's how bad my eyes was. He had to get this close to me, then I could see it. So I think my eyes were really bad because, well, for one, I don't know. I think I'm a visual learner, and people try to save energy by turning the light off. If we invented electricity, we can't waste electricity. We just invent electricity again. So saving money, I guess, was the real reason and everything. So I got haters on my computer. I do have family and friends on because apparently how you all see the internet is not how the internet is running. Apparently everybody hacks each other's computer, not just a kid on the internet or the law. So everybody's on my computer. Even though, I'm being monitored, I'm still got everybody on my computer. It sucks that people know each other by hacking each other, then turn out to be assholes to each other. So I didn't do nothing to my neighbors. I'm still questioning why there's not a 4th of July parade for years around here. You know, if people can earn money to get people in trouble with the law, then they can afford a 4th of July street parade and everything. As people think this is a third world country. America ain't no third world country. This is a #1 country. So I don't understand how there's any ghettos in America in a free country. So you all came up with that ghetto crap. Because it's so easy for economy or people to come together to make that not a ghetto no more. As people tell me in the 60s and 70s around here, people wasn't that hard on each other as, oh, I'm in a gang, so I deserve to treat you like shit as a person. Well, I don't know. I thought when you're in a gang, they teach you the respect. So there's no benefits of having gangs in America. Because even the fact they all teach each other respect and there's some pussy gang on the street, they got no respect for people at all. They're a bunch of pieces of shit on the street. And they give us a bad represent as Americans as a corny gang outside. So I don't know what that guy is. Because he dressed up differently all the time. I don't know what he is. So I don't know if he's trying to confuse me or whatever. But he's a grown-ass adult, and I'm a grown-ass adult. I ain't no child no more. So it sucks coming back home from war and people talk to me like I'm a child. Y'all can treat me up, beat the crap out of me, and put me away. You could talk to me like a fucking man. But I got an asshole across the street. So I don't know how my many hometown heroes came back home to have an asshole across the street. But I'm a special education, speech impediment. I have difficult to learn things, but doesn't mean I can't kick your ass. So that's why people picked on me on the wrestling team. They thought I was the pussy I had goofy glasses on the wrestling team. So people look at me as a pussy. Apparently, people don't read books no more, but somehow they learned that somebody that has glasses, I must be a punk because I wear glasses on the wrestling team. But apparently, I was a really tough wrestler. You all had to beat the crap out of me and slam me on the mat and try to break my back and my arms on the wrestling team. And I still showed you up. If I got pinned in high school, I didn't get pinned a lot. And the only reason why you won, I must have been tired that day on the wrestling team. Because I can pick up everybody on my wrestling team. I can pick the heaviest wrestler up on my wrestling team. As my coach allowed me to pick up the heaviest wrestler on the wrestling team. So I know I could pick up the person that wrestled me. And I think that was my problem. I had to stop worrying about what people think of me on the wrestling team, and I would have got pinned. I would have pinned more people on the wrestling team. I should have just stayed Commiso on the wrestling team. I was happy. My coaches, at one point on the wrestling team, I was proud to be a wrestler at Ewing High School. My coaches was happy, my wrestling, everybody was like, good job, Commiso, like I was in the military. Good job, Commiso, serving your country. Good job on the wrestling team. Most of my life, people told me, good job, Commiso, to come home to an asshole across. Well, I think that's the reason why people did the things they did on the wrestling, trying to intimidate me. So when I came out of this apartment, people tried to intimidate me on the wrestling team so I won't wrestle no more. Because I was the hardest wrestler to wrestle on the team. I worked out with my dad. I maintained my I was 160 most of my whole life. On the wrestling team, all the way up to the senior year, I was 160. In the military, they kept me 160 in the military. So I'm 277 pounds. And I think the reason why people do the things they do is to irritate me because they know I'm a veteran back home. So apparently people didn't grow up around here as an adult. They still look at me like I'm a high school kid walking to high school on the wrestling team. People did things to try to get me in trouble in school. Because I was on the honor roll. I hardly missed any days in high school. If I missed days, it was up to, for the whole entire years in high school, it's probably 2-3 days or something or whatever. And I did my homework. When I came home to school, I didn't go outside and play in high school. I said, the faster I do my homework, the faster I don't have any homework. That's how I thought in school. When I had a test, I tried to memorize all the answers that day. I studied all that night and tried to remember all the answers that day. So for the following day, to write in the answers. because I was kind of a little bored in high school. Even though they taught me, I guess, in special education class, a little bit, I was bored in school. I got my pencils, I got my notebooks, I got my book bag, I got my pens and paper, I got my pencils, I had the supplies to go to school. So now I got an asshole across the street. I didn't do nothing to that person. And my parents told me somebody's picking on my landlord downstairs. So when somebody told me so I think it's the person across the street too. Because if somebody don't have lights on every day and don't have watch TV in their house, they must be doing something at night, wandering in the streets or something. But there's not a lot of parties around here. So sometimes when I look out the window, it's like they mock me on purpose because, oh, Commiso's coming to the window, so let's do something to irritate him as a veteran. So they must have did that when I was at war. The bad guys must have knew I was coming out on convoy all the time off of my internet computer, because how people text each other on cell phones at war, or it's like, as it was easy to get information back in the day without the internet. Well, apparently people come up with information on each other as people on them. So I feel when I was on the convoy, there was IEDs going off behind me and there was IEDs going off in front of me. So I think the bad guys was trying to intimidate me in the convoy like on the wrestling team. I think the bad guys must have heard people talking about me in America. Oh, Commiso was on the wrestling team in the convoy? So they try to mock me and throw an IED behind me and an IED in front of me, because they knew Commiso was in that convoy. As I was a gunner too. I was not just a driver in the TC. My unit trusts me to be a gunner too, as damn, if anybody would have fired at me, I had a 50 cal. I know how to shoot an M16. They taught me in basic training how to shoot a 50 cal. They taught me in basic training how to shoot a saw. Every weapon that they use in the military. The Mark 19. And I felt I was short. They tell you to sit down, but I couldn't see shit when I sat down. So I felt like I was short anyways. So I stood up to a 3-day convoy. I stood up 3 days standing on a gunner because I aimed at anything that moved out there, and anybody that would have shot at Commiso, I had a 50 cal. I would have shot everything in that one shot. But we know bad guys are cowards as bad guys are cowards in movies, bad guys are really gangsters are really cowards in real life too on the streets. So they hit you and run. I'm lucky to be alive from a fucked up gang war on the internet after 9/11. To come home across the street, there's some corny ass gang outside trying to mock me, and you're supposed to be Americans on the 4th of July street. So apparently it seems like you all was going to get upset with me as a veteran no matter what, as y'all ride off, even though y'all ride off of my router around here. No, people, they're like, well, how are you going to, well, what people do is, yeah, you might have your own router, some people, but people use your computer to go on sites. You see what I'm saying? So that's why when their computers at jail cells don't get reported when they go on porno sites, because they're using their computer, and I don't know that as a disabled combat veteran after 9. So I've been a nice guy my whole life. I'm a cool person to hang with, to party with. I'm a really nice person. And just because you're a gang member, they must have no time of their life of their own around here as gang members. Because apparently I have to get picked on as they write off of my computer as assholes around here. So, I respect people as shit. What type of fucking respect is this back home? You know what I'm saying? Like, I would consider myself, I like being alone, you know. I mean, I would be cool to party with people and everything, but I don't mind being alone with my cat. If it's that hard to party in town, I'd rather live alone with my cat the rest of my life. As being in a relationship, if it's that hard to be in a relationship, then I'd rather live alone with my cat the rest of my life. So, you all can call me names and bully me as you hack my computer around here as your hometown hero. But not everybody hates Commiso. When I went to school, I felt at one point in time, a lot of people liked the Commiso on the wrestling team. But I felt people only like you if you won in the wrestling team. I felt like people got mad at me when I lost on the wrestling team. And not everybody can win all the goddamn time. I was winning a lot of matches. My freshman year, I won a lot of matches. And I highly doubt my coach gave me the easiest wrestler. I think my coach gave me the hardest wrestler on the team. So every wrestler I wrestled in schools around here, I had the hardest wrestler as they slammed me down on the mat. You're not supposed to slam the rest. You're supposed to pick them up and like gently put them down. But I got slammed. You try to choke me out on the wrestling team. You're not supposed to put me in the arm bar. You're supposed to, they try to do all these fancy moves in high school because they're in high school. But I worked out, and for a punk like me on the wrestling with goofy glasses, I was pretty strong. So when they thought they could just turn me around and pin me, it was super hard to pin Commiso. As I feel sometimes they cheated. So, but I was taught to respect the other wrestling team. That's what, you don't want to drop out of school to join some corny ass gang outside. But Commiso knows what respect is. I respect myself as a disabled combat veteran after 9/11. Not to get picked on by some grown-up adult across the street. So I don't know what the problem is. They must have heard that I got jumped around the corner. That's why you jumped me. I must have looked like a punk in the state of New Jersey. My whole life people look at me as a punk. But, you know what? I'm back home from war alive. And people call me a punk my whole life. But at least I did something with my life. So I don't want some corny ass law system that don't know what free sex is in the 21st century to screw my life over back home. I worked hard my whole life. My dad taught me to work hard. You gave me the benefits as the government. So I must have earned my benefits from the government. I'm not trying to take advantage of the crooked system of the government as people write off your routers and computer around here as haters. People can live their own lives, but somehow apparently my life is more fascinating as some corny ass gang across the street. So as I stood up for myself on the wrestling team, I stood up for myself in the military. So you must have read about me on the internet. Because that's the only reason why soldiers got blown up at war. You must have read about that soldier at war on the internet. So sometimes I feel like people do things just to get me in trouble on purpose. So I'm doing my best. There's something wrong with the person across the street. They're never home with lights on, if they have enough money to keep that house running, they have enough money to put TV on and watch it. As apparently there was a curfew in Mercer, and there was a reason why there was a curfew in Mercer. And I don't think it was some corny ass gang outside. So there's an asshole outside. And apparently, to welcome back home your hometown heroes, I feel like I'm back home on the wrestling team, and you all mad at me because I pinned you. Because at one point, I felt like I was pinning everybody. In Fisher School, I felt like I was pinning everybody. As I pinned you fast, I could pin you super fast. As at one point, well, I guess I wasn't feeling it no more in the wrestling team. Because the team made me felt good about myself being on the wrestling team. And there were wrestlers that graduated and left the wrestling team. And it felt like it was the rest, as they made me move away from my unit at war in the military. I didn't feel it no more because I was on it. I felt like I was on a different wrestling team. They put me on a different unit in the military. If they would have kept me with my unit at war, in the military, I would believe I would have stayed in the military longer. But my friends in the military, I saw some friends at Fort Bragg from war, but I guess I wasn't feeling it like on the wrestling team. And so I still have a clean record. I'm not an asshole. I'm not trying to get people in trouble around here, as it feels like the only reason why you're on my computer is to get me in trouble. Well, if the law is monitoring the internet, everything should be safe by now on the internet. So I'm doing my best while there's an asshole across the street. So I bet you $1 billion the next time I see this guy, when it's heavily snowing across the street and he has to clear out his driveway. After that, I won't see this guy for years again, till next winter. This guy's gone for months. And I don't understand that. So I may be a special education student, but doesn't mean I'm stupid. I know it sucks that people bully you in school in the first place, but just because I'm in special education class doesn't make me stupid. That's mentally challenged. I bet there's a genius. That's why Princeton University, they're not exactly putting everybody in Princeton University. So I bet there's a mentally challenged genius. Just because somebody's mentally challenged and has a disability doesn't prevent them not being a genius. But the way people look at each other, not everybody gets in Princeton. But everybody that gets in Princeton doesn't mean they should have been gotten in Princeton in the first place. I'm a special education, so when I try to apply to colleges as a veteran, I don't have a strong enough what? I learned everything that you learned in high school. So, as a veteran, people look at me, I don't know why, but I am a disability because I'm a veteran. I'm a human being. I have rights in America. Our fallen heroes died for our freedom. So I'm still alive for my battle buddies, and I feel like I have to stand up for my battle buddies that has fallen. What would the fallen heroes would say back home from war to see the bullshit gang outside treat me like respect? Because there's some corny ass gang outside. What would they say as a fallen hero? I bet the fallen hero will kick your fucking ass as the Bloods and the Clips and the Terrorists all on. My battle buddies protected me in the military. To come home, and this is my hometown in America. I don't have to be your friend. I could be friends with people that like me as my friends. I don't have to be friends with everybody. But I'm a nice guy. I try to be friends with everybody. But there's an asshole across the street that's hacking my computer. And apparently, when I look out the window, somebody's in the back. That guy was in the backyard for some reason, holding something in his hand. And I'm not, apparently he knew I was going to look out that window by hacking my computer. So I don't know what the guy's issue is. I didn't do shit to nobody back home. When I came home, moved back in this apartment, all I do is try to use the internet that I pay for and expecting this to be safe by now to use. Till I want to fix my apartment. I still got to get blinds. I was going to get green blinds, but then I say, how about orange blind? Then I can feel like I'm living on Mars. When the sun hits the orange blinds, I feel like I'm living on Mars, on planet Earth, because people prefer to pick on each other and bully each other, hate on each other, but our planet could turn into Mars. So I think I want to get orange blinds. So when the sun comes in, the apartment will all look like I'm on Mars. So that's where my thoughts are as Commiso. I really don't care what your problem is as an asshole outside. As I could draw this. I could draw cartoons really good. But my nervous system, it sucks that people put their veterans through hell back home and give them a hard time. As well, what you expect? We just came back from fucking war. How you expect us to fucking act as veterans? So they know I'm a vet. Apparently they know I'm a veteran because if they want to, they're picking on me for a reason. It's called common sense. I don't think it's that hard to be a genius. Is to having common sense in the world. So I could just keep waving at people and saying hi. I could keep being Commiso and being nice to people because I don't want to mess up my life. You must be a corny ass gang outside and want to mess your life up, but I'm not. I did a lot in my life. I served my country, and that's cool enough for me at a party. Nowadays, you have to be some whatever cool person at the party. I served my country. That's cool enough for me. And every veterans back home should say that to themselves. I'm a cool veteran. Who the fuck are you outside after 9/11 attack? I'm the soldier after 9/11. Who the fuck are you outside after 9/11? I did something. I graduated from high school. I could have got killed all around the world to deal with some asshole across the street. So, I'm standing up for myself on YouTube. And I'm teaching your kids to stand up for themselves. Hey kids, just because there's one bully in the school, there's more students in the school. You only need one good friend in high school. So, when you're in school, people are going to bully you as a kid. I guess because you're a kid. But when you grow up as an adult, you figure people grow up and become an adult. Hey kids, even adults bully adults. My hometown law is bullying me as if some asshole across the street. Just because you look at nudity different from me doesn't make me crazy. As it's natural to want to look at a naked body. The law should look at the internet differently. You would say, holy shit, he's normal. He wants to look at boobies. as a person that don't like looking at a naked person, there must be something. What else you're doing if you're not looking at naked people on the internet? There's something wrong with you. So there's nothing wrong with me, as you act like nobody gets butt naked on the internet in the 21st century in the first place. And I am trying to do the right things, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I think it sucks that you all been watching porn for years in Mercer Township as the law and some corny-ass gang outside, or my neighbors, to disrespect me like that. Because if the law accept the billions of naked people all these years, well, what the hell you all giving the hard time? Just because you all assume the worst out of your heroes back home. That's the problem with the world. Everybody assumes the worst out of each other. So apparently, I got an asshole that's going to assume the worst out of me. And I think people do things just, oh, I don't know. I think you're just a jerk off. So I'm not a jerk off. I'm not an asshole. I'm a really kind person. I served my country for a reason. I'm glad that I served my country. My teacher got me in the military. He was my coach, my teacher, and somehow he became my recruiter. So I trust my teacher. And I got in the military for a reason. I had a clean record. I was getting A's and B's in high school. So I earned the respect serving my country after 9/11. So I'm proud that I served my country. You're not going to take that away from me because there's some asshole across the street. So the next time you all decided to bully me and pick on me as Commiso, at least I flew all around the world after 9/11 and served my country, man. And that's way cooler at a party around here. Is that all people do at parties is talk shit about each other? Then I just get stoned with my cat and fix this apartment up for the landlord, because the landlord told me I could paint the kitchen. I like color. Anybody that likes white walls is not an artist. Anybody that likes white walls is boring. Looking at white walls is boring. So I pay to stay here. I put color on the wall. And look how cool, once I paint that trim orange, it's going to look cool as hell, man. So, I got haters on my computer, as I don't know how long it takes to determine if I'll be a good dad one day. Because I don't think it's right for anybody to say that I'm going to be the dad. You're not going to be the dad. So anybody that teach you're not going to be a good dad, who the hell are you? And every kind of thing. I'm going to raise my kids the way I want to raise my kids. And I think how I can teach when I ever get to meet somebody, because I got cock-blocking assholes around here on the internet, because apparently only the law could chatterbait online or whatever. I feel like I would teach my kids before they even go to school. I will try to read to my kids and teach them so they won't feel stupid when they go to school. They will already know the information. So I would teach my kids things that I would like to learn. I would say, this is what they probably teach you in school, kind of thing. So, for you guys to sit on my goddamn balls back home and while there's an asshole outside across the street, I'll be a great dad, because I know it takes a lot of responsibility to raise a kid. But it's probably fun to have kids. That's what's wrong with the world. You need more kids in the world, dude. There's too much grown-up serious adults online. Because kids make things fun. Kids make beach going being fun. Kids make going to Six Flags fun. Kids make everything fun. Going to, I would buy them. I already got book bags. I don't even have kids, and I've been collecting book bags. My kid in school is going to have the coolest book bag. I got vintage book bags, and anybody that beats up my kid and takes their book bag, I'll be there in school saying, what the hell is your fucking problem? So I got book bags already. I'm going to get more book bags because I like book bags. And I would like to travel again. I miss traveling. Before I die in this world, I would like to go to Venice, Italy, and Amsterdam. And I heard Greece was cool. I heard Greece got cool beaches. And I heard Venice, I think there's Michelangelo art somewhere in Venice, as Michelangelo was living in Italy. And Venice right there. So I think there's more art in Italy than Michelangelo's works. It's all hidden. It's going to get damaged because the water's rising in Venice. So if there's hidden art in the basement of Venice, of Michelangelo, it's going to get damaged because of the water. I think I can find the art. And I don't know much about anything, but I only read few books in my life. I'm like Indiana Jones going to Venice trying to find Michelangelo art in basements as American pickers. American pickers, so go to Venice. I bet they find cool stuff in Venice, Italy if they go to Venice as American pickers. Take me. Hey, man, I don't pay for the trip. I got to budget what they give me, but if you let me save my money somehow, it's hard because I collect things and I don't know. I didn't come back home from war to beg for everybody back. I didn't come to beg for the government. I like to earn my medal. When I was on the wrestling team and my coach handed me a first place medal in Princeton. I cried. I said, don't let anybody see me cry on the wrestling team. Then they're gonna beat me up more. I cried when my coach gave me the first place medal, and I was like, because I only wrestled like one or two people. You're supposed to wrestle a certain amount. I wrestled like two people or something, and he just handed me the first place medal, and I was like, do I deserve this? And I cried. I didn't know what to do with that first place medal, so I just like carried it around. I put it on, but I forgot. I think I was just holding the medal, and I still got that medal from the wrestling team because I was a freshman. How can a freshman get a first place medal? I was a little guy on the team, and I feel like I'm shrinking. As my grandpa told me, you got Commiso blood. When you get older, you're going to look like your dad. And when your dad gets older, your dad's going to look like me as grandpa. So he said, you're just going to get smaller and smaller. I'm going to shrink like grandpa. Sometimes I can't reach in the cabinets. I feel like a midget or little people. I said, I am shrinking. So I have a good personality to deal with assholes outside. I didn't come home from war alive to deal with assholes. If you don't want to be my friend, then walk away. If you want to be my friend, that's cool. But life's too short to wonder if somebody wants to be my friend or not back home. As I got along with my battle buddies. My battle buddies seemed to like me in the military, and there were soldiers from all over this country, and there were soldiers from the other countries in the military, and there were strangers. So if strangers can get along with me in the military, this is my hometown. So sometimes I feel people do things just to mock me back home. because I have a good heart. I was the nice guy that could have got killed protecting my battle buddies because I'm a really good guy. I cry. Real men cry. This bullshit that men don't cry kind of bullshit. Real men cry. So if veterans have to cry back home, don't pick on your veterans because they cry. Holy shit, they just came back home from a fucked up war. There's some corny gang outside. So, when Grandpa died, I bawled my eyes out. Because I didn't know what to do when Grandpa died. I felt like if I had did something, I could have kept Grandpa alive or something. So that's the same thing how I feel sometimes back home. I feel like I have to help everybody. I think all veterans feel that way. You make your veterans feel like they have to help everybody out. Because we're good-hearted American soldiers after 9/11. We served our country because we was the good men and women that served our country after 9/11. There was a reason why we served our country. And for you all to sit there and act like I'm the worst shit on the internet, as I still can't believe the internet should be safe by now, or everything. If everybody uses the internet, everything should be safe by now. Because not everybody wants to live that hard life crap, like you all claim. So, I'm doing my best as I collect things. So, I remember having Beavis and Butthead comics. I got 2 of them. This is the very first Beavis and Butthead comic. This one's signed by 2 people. This one's not signed. I guess this is the main guy that created Beavis and Butthead comics. Rick Parker. I have a comic that's signed by this guy coming in. But I guess when you make a comic book, it's not just one person. I guess that's the creator who came up with the idea, and it got people that these 2 are. I looked up these names. They made more comic books. So there's more than one illustrator for a comic book, and these were 2 of the illustrators that was part of making Beavis and Butthead. You know, it'd really be cool if I got the first copy of Beavis and Butthead and I got the 2 illustrators. It'd be cool if this guy signed this comic book. Then I got 3 of the signatures and the main character. And I will put this in I have a little closet. It was my mom's closet. I guess it was too heavy for them to take it. It was my grandpa's. I had, when you're a kid, you have 2 grandpas. On your mom's side and your dad's side. On my mom's side, I guess it was my grandpa's closet. So it's like a cedar closet thing. And I put all my cool stuff in there. I got my Class A. I don't think I put the Class A's. When I came back home from war, I guess I wasn't really focusing on putting my Class A's together. They tried to help me to put my Class A's together at Fort Bragg, but it wasn't. It was only my units. I don't know what to put on my Class A's of the units I went to war with. My first duty station was 1st AD, and then we was attached to 101 at war. So I guess they lost people. I guess when you lose people at war, they combine units together or something. So my Class A's don't fit me because I'm fat, and I don't think my Class A is right. So, you know, people forget you as veterans. You used to help you. You used to help you. Veterans. So a lot of veterans feel bad that they came back home alive and other soldiers didn't. So instead of bullying them on their hometown and making fun of them, help your veterans put their Class A's together. Help your veterans. Apparently, there's a medal. You can put all your medals in some case. I got magazines from Medals of America, and I would like to do that one day. I gotta save up to buy the. You gotta buy the box, and they should come with instructions. With the box, what metal should go. I know. I think it's the medals are over your heart. So I know the highest medals goes on the top to the lowest medals on the bottom. Then you got medals from units. I think the unit medals goes over your heart, and then the rest of the medals goes on this side. So instead of trying to out-tough your American heroes back home in the state of New Jersey in a 4th of July street, make your veterans feel good that came back home alive to a coolest country in the world. America is a really cool country. America can get fixed overnight. I don't know how many issues there are in America, but there's enough Americans to fix America. For you all to come down hard on your veterans back home. So, they don't have this at the VA. They don't have this at the Medals America. I found this on eBay. They don't have an ACU veterans hat. I found this on eBay. So, if you're looking for an ACU VA, go on. Just save me some. I want to buy some more. And you could get an ACU veterans hat. You can pin medals on your hat, but then they need to come out with an ACU vest. The only color they have is black. They should have a vest, veterans vest, that is a ACU vest. You know? Don't treat your veterans like we didn't do shit after 9/11. Last time I checked, the American flag is still flying high in the American sky. As their fallen heroes. So, imagine what the fallen heroes would do to some corny-ass gang outside after 9/11. So, stand up for your veterans. I ain't no bad guy. I'm just the guy that's using the internet that I paid for, as everybody invades my privacy and act like I'll be a bad dad one day because I watch the same porn as the law, my hometown law around here. As I get out-of-date sites in the first place. So, I'm not a mean person. I just don't understand the conflict in 4th of July street, because I do wave at people. That's why I say hi. You know, this is the 21st century. This is not caveman land, and you're waving to the next caveman, and they don't understand. This is 21st century. When a veteran waves at you, it's like I'm waving at you, saying hi. That's how you greet people. Did you know that? That's how you say hi. You say hi to greet people. So if people don't want to get to know me as a veteran, then that's all I ask is, can they stop repeating the same shows over and over and over and over again on television? Because I already saw that show. Can they switch it up a little bit? Movies too. When I watch TV, it feels like they're playing the same shit over and over and over and over and over and over. Can you switch it up a little bit, Verizon? Well, that's all I have to say. That there's few assholes in the world, and not everybody's bad. I get it. And I'm just trying to build a man cave up in here, trying to chill out. As a veteran, you act like I came home to fight everybody. I came home to chill out in America because I'm an American citizen as a disabled combat veteran. So I think I did enough at war for Americans on the 4th of July street to show me just a little respect as a veteran. So this is a disabled combat veteran after 9/11. Michael Commiso in the Battle Buddies.